don't normally interrupt a woman while she's eating, but you're very beautiful and I wanted to come and say hi.
Hi guys, this is Sam talking to you from Covent Garden, and today I'm going to debunk a little myth that we have in this sort of industry, in the dating industry, which is that you should never chase a girl. Now you probably hear this a lot, never chase. Position yourself as the person doing the chase. But I'm going to debunk that myth today. And I'm going to use my AND method, that's A-N-D, to teach you how you can chase without turning her off, without presenting yourself as someone who's needy, who doesn't have any options, and who is generally an unattractive person. Today we're going to teach you how you can chase in a way that is confident, comfortable, with desire and intent, but without that creeping sense of neediness. So the first one, A. Now A stands for adapt. What this means is that when you're with a girl, when you're meeting a girl, very often she has a frame of mind. You know, you might have, she says, oh, I've got a boyfriend, or she says, oh, I only want to see you as a friend, or I'm not ready to date. That's one that I had recently. A girl says, you know, I've just broken up with someone and I'm not really ready to a date, so I'm not sure we can go on our date tomorrow. And I responded to her saying, I completely understand. To be honest, I wasn't viewing this meeting as a date. I just think you're cool. Obviously, I find you attractive, but I just wanted to hang out with you and spend a Tuesday afternoon in the sun. So instead of saying, oh no, you know, I'm going to discard that option because she said she doesn't want to date yet, I just adapted to her frame and said, that's cool. I wasn't even considering it a date. I thought we were just hanging out, right? So it kind of puts you on a level playing field. The idea is that whatever she says over text message can change once you meet in person. So she may say, you know, I'm not in the space for dating right now. I don't have the right mindset. But then when you meet up in person, her emotions are going to be spiked. She's going to have a different emotional experience one-on-one with you than she will when you're texting her over the phone. So you've got to adapt to her frame, accept whatever she says, and don't disagree and say, no, I think you should date, you've got to get over your ex, like it would be a good thing for you to go out on a date. Agree. It's the yes and technique. Tony Robbins talks about this in his neuro-linguistic programs, that you should always say yes and rather than no but or because. You should always agree and then develop. So if you agree, right, we can just meet as friends, but then when you meet her, you act exactly as you feel, right? You're able to express desire, you're able to express intent, even though the frame beforehand was that it's not a date. Everything changes, right? So the next one, N, is narrative. Now, if you want to chase a girl, so for example, if the girl is acting a little bit aloof, saying that maybe she doesn't want to date, or that she seems to have lost interest, it's very difficult to win her interest back just by asking her out again, right? Or saying, hey, how's you? Or you up? Or how's your morning going? All of these comments are just going to push her away even more because she feels that you're pushing and it forces her to want to pull back. So instead of keeping pushing and keeping niggling and driving her away, instead you want to be intelligent. You want to form personal narratives. Now, what I mean by personal narratives is what is the information that you know about her and how can you reorder that information into a playful, teasing narrative. So, for example, if she says that she's got 3 dogs, right? You could make a narrative that she's obsessed with dogs, right? So when you walk, you could say, like, you're like the crazy dog woman. You're not a cat woman. Instead, you've got a load of dogs that follow you everywhere and chase you around the park or the garden, right? And that means that when you see a dog walking through the street, right, you see someone with like 3 dogs on a lead, you could take a picture or take a video of it and say, I think I found your doppelganger, or I think I found your future self in 20 years' time, right? You can make a playful narrative that you can present to her that's going to be funny, topical, personal, unique, and it's going to be engaging for her. It's not going to be the standard small talk. It's going to be something specific to that narrative that you've developed with her. So the second one is narratives. There's many different ways you can do this. Another one that I often find myself creating is the wife narrative, the husband and wife narrative, right? At some point in the interaction, you could be like, you know, I think if we ever got married, we'd get divorced in like a week. We'd have an amazing honeymoon, we'd have loads of fun together, but then we'd be divorced by the end of the week, so there'd be too much drama, right? So you're planting that seed, you're giving her a visual image of the potential for a sort of feisty marriage without taking it too seriously, presenting it as a joke, as something playful, as something not too serious. And then when you've got that narrative, instead of messaging her like, good morning, Alexa, or something, you can just say instead, hey, wifey, what's up? Or like, your lonely husband's alone in the sun right now, right? You can create a narrative around the husband-wife narrative that will link her and anchor her back to the emotional state that she had when she was with you and you created that narrative the first time, right? So once you've got your narratives, you've adapted to her frame, you're re-engaging her with personal narratives. Now it's time to focus on the date. So you've done that process, you're able to stay in contact with her, you're able to chase in the intelligent way without being needy. Now it's time to set up the date. So in order to do the date, what you want to do is leverage your personal narratives, right? So for example, a story with me recently, one of my ex-girlfriends, I made the narrative that she was my wife, and she said, but what happened to our honeymoon, right? And I said, we've had our honeymoon, you were drunk throughout it. And she's like, where's my ring? I'm like, you got drunk again and swallowed the ring. I was furious. It was a really nice ring. So we have this funny little conversation, and then I could say, for the date, because this is a girl that I actually used this process and I actually ended up pursuing and having a relationship with, I said, since you forgot about our honeymoon, I think it's time for a honeymoon part 2. We can either go to Little Venice, Little Portugal, or Floripa, which is a bar in Shoreditch, right? So I listed a number of potential honeymoon locations, which are all just parts of London. So again, you're using that narrative of the married couple to create date ideas here in the city that you're in. It's fun, it's playful, it's low pressure, it doesn't have that romantic frame forced upon it, and it's much more likely to engage her, allowing you to chase in the intelligent way. So you could suggest some honeymoon locations. By doing this, you're never forcing her resistance systems. Women have resistance systems and different things can trigger them. Sometimes it could be an overblown compliment, telling someone they're extremely beautiful. They're so used to hearing that from guys that they're not interested in, that when they hear it again, it raises their resistance systems and it causes them not to be attracted, but instead to recoil to you. So by using this date strategy, by using this AND system, with the third one being D for date, leveraging your personal narratives, you avoid raising her resistance system and you leave the meeting as open, as fun, as free, as playful as you possibly can. So this tips and these systems is something that I go over in my live map and WhatsApp group. I detail the best locations that you can meet the type of women that you'll then be able to pursue in this way, and I give you constant updates and feedback, little exclusive information videos detailing this system with more examples, with better quality interactions, and that's what I'm going to do for you. So that's the AND system. That's adapt, narratives, and date. This has been Sam from Covent Garden. If you're interested in the live map and WhatsApp group, it's in the description below. So join me, join a group of guys that are also interested in improving their social skills. I'll see you in the next video. Big yourselves up. You're larger than life. Sam out.